Welcome back to this episode of Living Simpler. Before we dive in, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine we're on a quiet morning walk together. Wherever you are, I want you to give yourself permission to just slow down for a few minutes, to breathe, and to be present right here. Here's what I want you to know from the very beginning, because it matters. This episode is not about creating a massive, overwhelming goal list. It is not about pressure or hustle or trying to become a completely different version of yourself in the new year. This is about something so much deeper and more supportive than that. This episode is about helping you intentionally design 2026 in a way that actually supports your body, your energy, your work, and the life you truly want to live. If you listened to the last two episodes, 19 and 20, we talked about how to do a simple year in review, which was about looking back. Today is about looking forward with clarity and intention. I'm going to teach you how to preview the year ahead and set goals that actually stick, using the same frameworks I use in my own life and with my private clients. You may want to pause this episode at different points to write things down, and that is intentional. This time is for you. First, let me tell you what I see happening with the women I work with every single December. They're sitting down with their planners, their journals, maybe their laptops, and they're asking themselves the same question everyone asks at the beginning of a new year. What do I want to accomplish in 2026? And here's the thing. They start listing things. More productivity, more revenue, a six-figure business, 20 pounds lost, a morning routine, a side hustle, better relationships, more time with family, a thriving fitness routine, and every single one of those goals looks impressive on paper. But here's what I notice is missing. They're not stopping to ask whether those goals actually support their health, nervous system, or the life they actually want to live. They're setting goals based on what they think they should want. Goals that look good from the outside. Goals that sound impressive when they're talking to friends at dinner parties. And then, by January 15th, the wheels fall off. By early February, 35% of people who set New Year's resolutions have already abandoned them. According to research from the University of Scranton, more than a third of resolution makers break their promises before January even ends. And the number one reason the goals were unrealistic or they didn't have any way to track what they were actually doing. But here's what really breaks my heart about this. 92% of people fail to achieve their long-term goals. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not willing to work, but because they never created a specific, actionable plan. They didn't break their goals into smaller, manageable steps. And more importantly, they didn't ask themselves the most important question first. How do I actually want to feel in 2026? Because here's the truth that changes everything. Your daily routines matter so much more than your ambitions. Your nervous system and quality of life matter more than your spreadsheet and the small choices you make every single day. The way you start your morning and the way you close your evening. Those create the foundation for whether you're going to hit your goals or not. So today, we're going to flip the script. We're going to start with feeling instead of forcing. We're going to build supportive routines instead of exhausting ones. And then, only then, are we going to set goals that actually make sense for your life, your energy, and your season. That's where the real magic happens. Your goals are not created by your motivation. I want you to really hear this because it changes everything. Your goals are created by your small, daily routines and actions. How you start your day and how you end your day either supports your goals or silently works against them, often without you even realizing it. Think of it this way. Imagine your goal is a beautiful plant that you want to thrive in your garden. You can have the most gorgeous vision for that plant. You can picture exactly how it's going to look when it's fully bloomed, with vibrant colors and strong roots. But if you don't water it every single day, if you don't give it the right soil, the right sunlight, the right conditions to grow. That beautiful plant is never going to become what you imagined. It might survive. It might even look okay from a distance, but it will never truly thrive. Your daily routines are the water, they're the soil, they're the sunlight and the care that either supports your goals or silently works against them. This is why so many women set incredible goals in January and abandon them by February. It's not because the goals are bad, it's because there's no structure supporting them. There's no daily rhythm creating the conditions for success. Here's what the research shows us. It takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic, not the 21 days that everyone throws around. Studies from the European Journal of Social Psychology show that the real timeline ranges anywhere from 18 to 254 days, depending on the person and the specific habit. More importantly, when we're talking about health-related habits, we're looking at 2 to 5 months to develop something that feels natural. That means we're not looking at quick fixes. We're not looking at a 30-day challenge and then you're done. We're looking at consistent daily choices stacked on top of each other over time. And that consistency is only possible if you have a structure in place. So if you're going to hit your goals in 2026, you need to build routines. Because of my own needs, I created the simpler morning method and the living evening routine. Now, I want to be really clear about what these are. These aren't rigid military-style schedules that make you feel worse if you miss a day. These are flexible anchors. They're frameworks that support your nervous system, your focus, and your ability to actually follow through on what matters. They're designed to work with your life, not against it. Let me walk you through the morning method first, because how you start your day is absolutely everything. I've seen this shift more lives than almost any other intervention I've ever taught. The goal of your morning is not productivity. I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially if you're someone who's used to grinding and pushing from the moment you wake up. But stick with me here. The goal of your morning is regulation, clarity, and direction. Because if your nervous system is dysregulated first thing in the morning, if you're already stressed and reactive before your feet hit the ground, no amount of coffee or willpower or discipline is going to fix that. You're building the day on a shaky foundation. The first letter is S, and S stands for silence. Your brain and nervous system need quiet before they need input. This can be meditation, it can be prayer, it can be deep breathing, or it can literally just be sitting quietly with your coffee for 2 to 5 minutes. This isn't about performance. This is about creating a buffer of space before you fill your brain with emails and news and other people's demands and the endless stream of input that's waiting for you the moment you turn on your phone. Research from Harvard University by Sarah Lazar shows us that even 10 to 15 minutes of daily mindfulness or meditation practice can physically change your brain. It increases gray matter in the hippocampus, which is crucial for learning and memory. And it reduces gray matter in the amygdala, which is your brain's fear and stress center. So when you give yourself 5 minutes of silence before you start your day, you're literally rewiring your brain to be calmer and more focused. That's not woo-woo, that's neuroscience. That's your brain actually changing at a structural level. The second letter is I, and I stands for intention. Instead of writing out a long to-do list that makes you feel behind before you even finish your coffee, you choose 1 to 3 intentions for the day. This is where you ask yourself some really important questions. What truly matters today? What is the highest leverage action I can take for my health, my business, or my personal life? If I could only accomplish 3 things today and the rest was impossible, what would those 3 things be? This is how you stop reacting and start leading your day. Because the truth is, most women wake up and immediately become reactive. They're responding to what's coming at them. They're checking their email and immediately being pulled into someone else's agenda. They're handling crises and putting out fires. But when you start your day with intention. You're saying, here's what matters to me. Here's what I'm going to focus on. Everything else is secondary. And that shift in mindset creates a completely different day. The third letter is M, and M stands for movement. Movement wakes up your brain and your metabolism. And here's something really important that I want you to hear. This doesn't need to be intense. This doesn't need to be a grueling workout that leaves you exhausted before your day even starts. Walking, Pilates, stretching, strength training, mobility work, yoga, they all count. The goal is to get your body moving in a way that feels good and energizing, not depleting. The research from the Mayo Clinic shows that consistent morning exercise can improve insulin sensitivity and help regulate your blood sugar levels throughout the entire day. And stable blood sugar is foundational for everything. It's foundational for stable energy, mood, and hormone balance. So when you move your body in the morning, you're not just checking off a workout. You're setting your metabolism up to support your goals all day long. You're creating metabolic conditions that make it easier to say no to that 3 p.m. sugar craving. You're literally preparing your body to follow through. The fourth letter is P, and P stands for prioritize nourishment. What you consume in the first few hours of the day sets your blood sugar, your focus, and your mood for the entire day. This is not a small thing. This is foundational. Eating a high-protein breakfast, around 30 grams of protein, has been shown in research from the University of Missouri to improve appetite control and reduce unhealthy snacking later in the day. That means by nourishing your body well in the morning, you're stabilizing your energy, reducing cravings, and making it easier to stick to your goals throughout the day. In that prioritizing nourishment, hydration matters too. Even mild dehydration, a loss of just 1 to 2% of your body weight in water, can impair cognitive functions like concentration, alertness, and short-term memory. So that afternoon brain fog you're experiencing, that difficulty focusing on your work, that might not be because you're not smart enough or disciplined enough. It might just be that you didn't drink enough water this morning. So the first thing I want you to do in the morning before anything else is drink a full glass of water. Not coffee, not tea. Water first. This tells your body you're hydrating it. You're waking up your system. The fifth letter is L, and L stands for learn. Growth compounds when it's consistent, not when it's intense. Consistent, 10 minutes of reading, listening to a podcast, studying something aligned with your goals. That's enough. It keeps you growing. It keeps you connected to why your goals matter. It reminds you of what you're moving towards instead of just grinding through your day on autopilot. The sixth letter is E, and E stands for express. Your mind needs somewhere to put your thoughts. Journal, brain dump, write affirmations, capture ideas that come to you. This is so important because so many women are walking around with their heads full of swirling thoughts. They're thinking about what they need to do, what they forgot to do, what someone said to them yesterday, what they're worried about. That noise in your brain is exhausting. Expression clears mental clutter and creates clarity. This is how you get all those thoughts out of your head and onto paper so they're not following you around all day, creating background stress. And the last letter is R, and R stands for recognize gratitude. Here's where the science gets really powerful. A 5-minute daily gratitude journal can increase your long-term well-being and happiness by more than 10%. But it gets better. According to the Grateful Heart study, practicing gratitude has been shown to reduce levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, by 23% in study participants. And if you struggle with sleep, regular gratitude journaling can lead to a 25% increase in sleep quality because it reduces worrying thoughts before bed. So by starting your day with gratitude, you're not just being positive or Pollyanna-ish. You're literally reducing your stress hormones. You're improving your sleep. You're increasing your happiness. That's the foundation for actually achieving your goals. That's the platform everything else is built on. I want to pause here and invite you into a short coaching moment. If you can, slow down for a minute. If you are walking, keep walking. If you are driving, just listen. If you are sitting, place your feet on the floor and take a deep breath. This is where clarity begins. First, let's talk about how you want to feel in 2026. Not what you want to do, not what you want to accomplish, but how you want your life to feel. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel in my body in 2026? How do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? How do I want to feel in my work or business? How do I want to feel in my relationships and personal life? Give yourself permission to answer honestly. Now write down 3 to 5 words that describe how you want to feel this time next year. Calm, energized, confident, supported, grounded, free, focused. There is no right or wrong here. These words become your filter for every decision you make in 2026. If a goal does not support these feelings, it needs to be revised. Next, let's talk about what you actually want to accomplish. Instead of a long list, I want you to choose just 1 to 3 things that truly matter. Ask yourself, if I could look back at the end of 2026 and say, this was a successful year, what would need to be true? What 1 to 3 accomplishments would make the biggest difference in my health, my work, or my personal life? Write those down. These are your big 3. Not everything you could do, just what matters most. Now here is where we turn intention into action. Big goals are created through small, consistent choices. So I want you to choose 1 small change you are willing to commit to starting now. Ask yourself, what is 1 small change I can make in how I start my day that would support how I want to feel? Or what is 1 small change I can make in how I end my day that would help me rest, reset, or feel more grounded? This might be 5 minutes of quiet in the morning, a short walk outside, writing down tomorrow's priorities at night, turning off screens earlier, ending the day with gratitude. Write down that 1 small change. This is your starting point. You do not need to do everything at once. You just need to begin. As we move forward, keep your words, your big 3 goals, and your 1 small daily commitment somewhere you can see them. These are not just ideas. They are the foundation of how you will experience 2026. Next week, we will come back to setting your goals and using your nighttime wind-down routine to best accomplish your goals.